Hello and welcome to Ask Amanda Now. This is our short Friday afternoon session where I, Amanda Farmer, Strata lawyer, can answer one Strata question for you. We are going out live to the Your Strata Property Facebook page. We're heading out to my LinkedIn profile. We are going out to YouTube. We're a little later than we usually go to air on a Friday afternoon. My son had a soccer gala day for school today and needed some collecting from school a little bit later. So ticked off that job. That one is done. And I am here with you now for Ask Amanda Now. On our Friday afternoons, sometimes I'm here for a little bit longer, up to an hour, sometimes more than an hour when I get really excited, chatting about the week in Strata, the week that has been, bringing you some updates, some case law, summaries, some interviews sometimes with special guest experts, giving you a rundown of what we've been hearing about in the media. And other times, other weeks on a Friday, I am here just to answer one question that has been asked earlier in the day, one question selected from the many that I receive here on the page, in Messenger, over in my inbox, from owners, from Strata committee members, from Strata managers, from building managers, from the big wide world out there that is our Strata sector. So that is what we're doing today. We are answering one question. I can see some of you already coming in live. Welcome, welcome. If you do want to drop me a hello, I would love to acknowledge you. If you're coming in and catching the replay, special hello to you too. I can see Kareem is here live. Did your son go well at the gala day? I think so. He was very tired, very tired. It was a really long day. There was a bit of travel involved as well. And I said, how did you go? And I got a bit of a grunt. So I'm thinking, yeah, we'll go with that. Thank you very much, Kareem, for asking. If you're coming in and want to say hello here on our Ask Amanda Now session, please do. But I am going to jump right on in to our excellent question today. Today's question that we have chosen comes from Max. And this question came into my inbox today after I put the call out for our Ask Amanda Now session. Look, if you're here, Max, feel free to drop in and say hello. I'm going to bring that question up onto our screen right now. The question from Max is this: is a building manager or letting agent eligible to sit on the Strata committee? Great question. And I try to choose questions for our Ask Amanda Now that I think will help many people, those who may have a similar question, questions that are applicable right across our communities, especially in New South Wales. And I know from some more detail that Max put in his email that he is in New South Wales. That's my area of specialty, being a Strata lawyer in New South Wales. So Max was a little confused. There was more information in Max's email, which is relevant. And Max was a little bit confused, and I don't blame him. I'll tell you why. Max was looking in a couple of different places for the answer to this question, and he was coming up with a couple of different answers. I am going to share my screen here with you today. Hey, Shana, I see you coming on in. Thank you for saying hi. I will hit this button here and share my other desktop screen with you. Now, Max drew my attention to this website. Have shared this one previously on live. It is a New South Wales government website that tells us a lot about Strata, lots of basics about Strata living, quite a helpful resource for those who are new to Strata. Max was looking for the answer to this question: is a building manager or letting agent eligible to sit on the Strata committee in New South Wales? And he stumbled across this page that I'm sharing here on my screen. Who's who in Strata understand the roles of the Owners Corporation, the Strata Committee, Strata Manager, and Building Manager. And I'll do a quick scroll down here to the relevant part of the page that Max drew my attention to. Who makes up a Strata Committee? Who can join a Strata Committee? Now, I might just make that one a little bit bigger. Those of you who are watching on mobile may find this text a little bit small. So there we go. That might help. Who can join a Strata committee? The Service New South Wales website tells us owners can nominate one person for election of each property they own in the scheme. You can nominate yourself, another owner, or someone who doesn't own a property. This might be a tenant or the tenant representative. That all sounds about right to me. You cannot join or be nominated for the Strata Committee if you are the building manager, an agent who leases any property in the Strata scheme to tenants, someone connected to the original owner, that's the developer, or the building manager of the scheme, unless you disclose this in writing before an election, an owner who owes money to the scheme at the time of the AGM. So that's someone who is unfinancial and is behind in their levies. So Max had a read of this and said, Amanda, it seems to say here that we can't appoint the building manager or an agent who leases any property in the Strata scheme to tenants. But Max did a little bit more research than that and actually came across, I believe, Section 32 in our Strata Schemes Management Act. Now, Section 32 is titled Persons Who Are Not Eligible to be Appointed or Elected to the Strata Committee. We've got links coming into the comment sections here for you. And Section 32 says the following persons are not eligible for appointment or election to the Strata Committee or to act as members of the Strata Committee unless they are also owners of lots in the Strata scheme. See these words? Unless they are also owners of lots in the Strata scheme. Interestingly, and I'm going to flick back, those words are not here. So if we were just reading this, we would assume that a building manager and an agent leasing property could not be a member of the Strata Committee. Section 32 tells us that a building manager, a person who acts as an agent for the leasing of lots in the Strata scheme, is not eligible unless they are owners of lots in the Strata scheme. So Max had come across this, was confused by this, and was asking, Amanda, who's right? Is it the Service New South Wales website that tells us that building managers and letting agents cannot be members of the Strata Committee? Or is it this section of the legislation that I've stumbled across that says, yes, they can be members of the Strata Committee as long as they are owners of lots in that scheme? So the answer, Max, is we rely on Section 32. Section 32 is our rule that we're guided by here in New South Wales. Who is not eligible, who cannot join the Strata Committee, put their hand up to be nominated. And unless your building manager is the owner of a lot, unless the agent who is leasing lots in the scheme is the owner of a lot in that same scheme, no, they can't be a member of the Strata Committee. That was not all that Max was asking me. Max pointed out that the building manager themselves, who was putting their hand up, I believe, to be nominated to the Strata Committee, was an individual. It was a person who was to be nominated to the Strata Committee. But the building manager engaged by the Owners Corporation was a company. So it was the building manager's company that then had the building management contract with the Owners Corporation. So Max was asking, are they one and the same? If this person is not an owner of a lot in a Strata scheme, but they are the director of the building management company, does that make them eligible to be on the Strata Committee? Because they personally are not the building manager, it's their company that's the building manager. Now, Max, I say that if the company, if the person who is the sole director, sole shareholder, sole secretary in the company is that person, that building manager who is then putting up their hand to be on the Strata Committee, then they are one and the same with that building management company, and they will be considered, or should be considered in the eyes of the law, to be the building manager and shouldn't be elected to the Strata Committee. Things may get a little bit more complicated when we're looking at employees of the building manager or other people who may be connected to the building management company, and it's not as clean cut as there being a sole director, sole secretary, sole shareholder in the building management company. And those kinds of situations need to be considered on their specific circumstances, on their specific facts. But if it is a reasonably straightforward situation where the building manager, the building management company doesn't own any lots in the Strata scheme, the representative of the building management company, being the director, secretary, shareholder of the building management company, wants to get themselves elected onto the Strata Committee, then I'd be saying Section 32 in our Strata Schemes Management Act prevents them from doing so. That's what I think. Any clever cookies out there who may think otherwise, please do let me know. In my rush this afternoon, I haven't gone to check if we've got any case law on that particular point, whether that's been tested before our tribunal or any of our courts previously. So I'd be interested to know if anyone's aware of this being dealt with by our tribunal. That's the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Tribunal. But those are my views, and I hope, Max, that that is helpful to you. I am going to leave it there for our Ask Amanda Now this afternoon. Quick one for you. Thank you to all of those eyes who are here tuning in live. Let me know with a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a love heart if you have enjoyed today's content, if you think it's helpful for others to be receiving this kind of guidance about their strata communities, then that is the best way. Supporting us here on the Facebook page, giving us that thumbs up, that's the best way for this content to get out to others and to make sure that others too can learn from what we're sharing here today. Excellent. All righty. Have a lovely weekend in Strata, everyone. I will catch you all here next Friday. I think we're due for a Friday Live next Friday. See you then. Bye for now.